it. So on homework, you can use each other for help. You can use other plebes from the other classes for help. You can also just text me, like, I'm really stuck, and I will help you. It doesn't matter what time of night it is. I do go to bed early so I can get up to work here. But if you text me the night before, I get up around 4 to 4:30, so I will message you back. So the way this problem's set up, there's information in the problem, and at the transform step, they have some information. They give you heights of someone that's known. So they gave you the known length of his shadow. And then they give you missing information. I don't know when you're going to discover that information's missing, but somewhere, like usually the word problems are set up in high school and grade school where you have to look at the question to find the unknown, but you'll figure out quickly reading this thing that there's some unknown information, which is the known information of this other person, and then there's a known length of shadow for the person. So you're going to have to lay out your data in front of you to see it. It takes about 3 minutes to do that. So I advise you just to do that instead of like struggling with and running to someone else right away. But if you can't see this part, text me. If you don't see this part, I'm saying I don't see what you're talking about. Then at the model stage, I call it model formulation in your triangle. It's the second part of your triangle. You're going to set up a model. Not in this word problem was said so, but there's an assumption behind it. Send me by text if you figure out what that assumption is. There's going to be an assumption behind it. I just showed you that misrepresentation thing of there is an assumption that's being underlying all of that to set up your model. You kind of have to know that assumption to be able to put together the model. And then from there, you're going to be able to solve it. Blah, blah, blah. And solve the model. When you get to this stage, if you get this part's easy. Just like word problems when you were little. When you were little, you had a word problem. Once you got the equations, you were like, okay, I kind of know what to do next. Why? Because we spend a lot of time here in your grade school and K through 12 education. We spend rarely any time doing real things up here. So this is the hard part. It can be learned. I actually taught a class, business calculus, at Montclair State. And I told them, well, I think what you need is to be able to work with word problems. So I'm going to teach every single problem as a word problem in this class. And I did. And they got good at doing word problems. And then someone asked me, are there going to be word problems on the final? Because I can do those. They didn't want anything else. So you can actually get comfortable with it. So if you're not comfortable with it, don't see it, are getting stressed out about it, text me. Say, look, I'm getting stressed out. This is not helping. Like, I'm not good at this. You can get good at it. 45 students at Montclair State with 3 sections of that. And they all were able to do word problems. And they didn't get into West Point. So they didn't even have to get into West Point. That's like a tier 2 school. So you're going to be able to do it. Any questions on this? Kind of set you up a little bit? All right.
To solve it, just do like a ratio of height.
Is that an assumption? That's a good hint. He gave you a hint.
But I think what I was doing was making a graph triangle. Because like you had the height of the guy, the length of the shadow.
You could do that.
But you find.
You could do that. Do it any way you want to. You could do that. I think it'll work. So whatever pops into your head of how to solve this, I think will work. So if you're in doubt, you can text me, send me a screenshot, like send me a picture of what you have, and I'll tell you you're on the right path, or hey, why don't you try something else? So you're allowed to use me for help.
You have to assume the sun doesn't understand the same angle.
Say again?
Yeah. That's if the sun has the same angle.
Well, that's another assumption, isn't it? Yeah. None of those were listed out as assumptions. Sometimes these toy word problems are set up in a way that even the writer or the author doesn't think of all the assumptions that they're thinking that you should know. That's an assumption. Okay. You were watching cartoons.